Hello friends out there in YouTube land, Robert Ham here with Robert Ham Photography. Today we are continuing our roll review for images taken with the Instaflex TL70 by Mint camera. What a great camera right here. We're on roll 1, just so you can see, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I am currently working on roll 9, which will take me up to almost done. You know, I'm bringing you my first 100 shots. I'm having such a great time. I've considered extending it another 100 shots. Guys, I'm having that much fun. But let's go ahead and right over here. So we're, once again, this is roll 7. Yeah, 7 right here. So let's check this out. I want to share with you roll 7. Roll 7, I took my kids to the Northwest River Park, and I wanted to shoot out in this canopy on the boat, on the water, and just show you what was up. Now, you guys know I like to show you every single shot. If I don't show you a shot in here, and you can reference my shots by the little numbers right there, it's because I gave that shot away. That's the only reason that it's not here. Now, on my roll 7 preview, I had talked about the fact that I was blowing my first shot out of every single roll. Pro tip, don't do what I did. I found out what happened. You know, I've got a lot of cameras going, A and B cameras. You guys take a lot of footage that you may not even see. When I was actually changing this camera and putting the film in it, when I was going to eject, as you can see the little button right there, look where I was holding my finger. It was wrapping around that button. So as I was ejecting it, I was also exposing the first slide, and that's what's causing the issue. So pro tip, use it wisely. Keep your finger away from the red shutter button at all times until you're ready to take a picture. It's just that simple. Anyway, so that's what happened here. Otherwise, it would have been a great shot. So this happened because user error. Now, on the same vein, I was shooting at f8 right here, but look at this. I knew I needed some exposure compensation. I don't know why I wasn't using f8. As we talked on previous rolls, I've already developed a reference. I just didn't take the time to set my negative exposure compensation. You really should set your exposure compensation, your EV, to the minus setting when you're outdoors in any kind of shade. But that's okay. I picked up very quickly on that by opening up the aperture and using my negative exposure compensation. Now, this image is cool. I want you to see this. You know, someone asked me to do some scans. I might look at this image right here. Just taken out of a boat on a still lake, the Northwest River. Look at the reflection. That's how still the water is. Now, I can tell you that I was lucky here because I was being very still when I took the picture. With this negative exposure compensation, I was definitely, I know I was close to 1/20th of a second, 1/50th of a second. I could tell just by understanding that little click. It was a longer click than what I'm used to. And continuing on, it was okay. So check this one. I showed this one in my roll preview. How awesome is that? Look at this guy on this canoe, man. You can see the reflection of the canoe in the water. He's going by. In fact, I actually talked to him a couple times. I ended up giving him a picture later on. Now, in this area, everything was fine. Everything was good to go, but I will talk to you a little bit later about understanding camera shake and how that will affect your pictures. Check out Robert. He jumped on a big log. Look, we're under a shaded area in the forest, minus 5.6, using negative exposure compensation. 65th image. This is the 65th time I've pressed the shutter on this. This is the 64th time I've pressed the shutter. Guys, you have to realize these are excellent results, and you can have them too without even blowing a few of the shots that I blew, just by not making my mistakes and following some of my pro tips. Besides, if you've got a pro tip, leave it down in the comments below. I'd love to learn from you as well. Turning on around, this shot was really cool, but what did I do? Look at me again. I already knew I needed negative exposure compensation. So I'm just playing to see what the biggest differences would be. And although they're not exactly the same spot, we can recognize and see what's happening there. Look at 5.6 on number 66 compared to 5.6 minus EC on number 65. Now you've got a good reference for what kind of image you would like to take. And that's what these tests are always for. We're just trying to build a reference of work. Now going underneath there, that bridge that I was taking a picture of here, you can see the little bridge in the background, got Robert. It was very difficult. I was trying to maneuver the paddle boat. My boys had jumped off. I was trying to steer and take the photo, and it just didn't work out for me. Continuing on over here, what a great little shot. Ira, we couldn't see Mr. Pookie in this one because he was too small. So we decided to take him over here. And as always, when you look at images on a screen like this, you're not seeing what I'm seeing in the real image. The Ira's in nice contrast. It looks like he's blown out a little bit right there, but he's not. He's got that nice same orange kind of skin tone going on right there. But look at the beautiful bright lens that you see. This bright lens, I decided to do it f8 with negative exposure compensation because I was trying to get rid of some background blur, which I had thought was creeping in and then found out was in there. Remember, I'm in the boat all by myself, and this one you can actually see a little bit of motion blur on them and a little bit of camera shake. I think it was about half a second or a quarter of a second here, but my boat was twisting and he was coming towards me pretty quickly. Now, I took 2 shots, so I was also panning and trying to get him in the image for that shot, so it just came out a little slightly blurry. But imagine, right? Imagine had I been able to get it as in sharp of focus as this first one when Robert was in the boat with me and steering and pedaling. So the camera's got the capability. I didn't have this stability at the time. So all in all, it's still a really cool shot. I had a great time with it. So this was, of course, Roll 7. And Roll 7 was all about using the camera and just going out there and learning and using some of the things I had learned with it and making a new friend. Notice in all of these rolls, I've been giving away images, and that's because I'm making friends while using this camera. The guy on the boat caught some fish. He wanted to give us some fish for the picture. I didn't want him to give me any fish. We had a great time. His name was Steven or Stan or something like that. How cool was it? We're just out on the water. And I wanted to share that with you. So this was, of course, Roll 7 here for your enjoyment. Guys, I'm Robert Ham with Robert Ham Photography. I hope you're enjoying my adventures with the TL70. You can find more of them, all the images over on Instagram. If you're only watching here, you're missing half the story. So go check out over on Instagram. I want to thank you for watching and remind you that I will catch you on that flip side.